The clock on the monitor flashes 4:11 a.m. The rest of the world is dead asleep, but inside a pitch-black room, a software developer's fingers freeze over his keyboard. His pupils dilate as he extracts a hidden string of text from a completely unremarkable image file posted to an anonymous board. It is a digital message, written in clinical, white text against a black backdrop. It reads, "Hello, we are looking for highly intelligent individuals. To find them, we have devised a test. It is January 5th, 2012. And the internet has just been targeted by the most sophisticated cryptographic dragnet in human history." Most people scroll past, assuming it is an alternate reality game or a marketing stunt. But as the minutes tick by, elite hackers across continents realize the terrifying truth. This is a global selection process. A highly organized group with vast resources and flawless mathematical knowledge is testing the world. The lines of code aren't just difficult, they are ruthless. The system filters out the crowd, routing individual solvers down custom pathways. The public puzzle is merely a screening phase. The real trap is being set behind closed doors. And as the early codebreakers step closer to the final door, the realization hits them like a physical blow. The recruiters don't want to be found. They want you to vanish into their network. And as the final gate opens, the connection goes completely dead. By February 2012, the hunt does something that fractures the community's sanity. It steps completely out of the digital realm. Solvers who have bypassed ancient Mayan numerology and telephone hotlines receive a new drop. These aren't IP addresses. They are physical GPS coordinates mapped across the globe. From the rainy streets of Seattle to a concrete alleyway in Seoul, ordinary coders have to walk outside in the dead of night. They find physical posters taped to industrial fences and light poles. Each one features the clean silhouette of an insect, a cicada, and a raw QR code. The psychological toll shifts from curiosity to raw obsession. Competitors report going days without sleep, analyzing classical texts and runic alphabets until their vision blurs. Paranoia takes hold. Every shadow, every number, every street sign becomes a potential code. The international infrastructure required to place these assets simultaneously proves this isn't a hacker group operating out of a basement. It is an organization with boots on the ground in multiple time zones. They are watching the coordinates, tracking who arrives, and separating the elite from the spectators. When the countdown timer on the main site expires, the public trail goes cold. A wall of silence drops over the investigation. Only a tiny handful of documented participants ever stepped forward to reveal what lay past the physical markers. Among them is a teenage developer named Marcus Warner and a Swedish security analyst named Joel Eriksson. According to their accounts, crossing the finish line didn't bring public fame. It triggered a secure PGP signed communication on a private dark web network. The group congratulates them and pulls back the curtain. They claim to be a decentralized collective dedicated to informational freedom, privacy infrastructure, and strict anti-censorship software development. The winners are pulled into a hidden, anonymous forum to build these tools. But for these elite minds, the destination is jarringly different from the journey. There are no grand reveals or deep corporate secrets. Instead, they are met with fragmented chat rooms, ideological bickering among anonymous handles, and unfinished software repositories. Reaching the center of the world's greatest puzzle didn't provide answers. It only pulled them into a closed ecosystem where public communication was strictly forbidden. The internet struggles to classify the true nature of Cicada 3301. Theories divide researchers down the middle. The primary hypothesis points to a high-level intelligence agency recruitment drive, the NSA or the CIA seeking unconventional codebreakers. These agencies frequently use public puzzles to source talent, but experts note a massive operational risk. State actors rarely use volatile, public dark web infrastructure to filter candidates. Other theories suggest a highly sophisticated tech sect or digital cult built around pure intellectual exclusivity. By setting the barrier to entry impossibly high, the organizers filter for highly intelligent, intensely isolated individuals who desperately want to feel chosen. It is a flawless psychological trap. They isolate the target through their own obsession, draw them away from their public peers, and place them into an anonymous structure where loyalty to the code is paramount. Whether a government screening or a decentralized cult, the system worked perfectly. The network took the brightest minds on the web, gave them a task, and watched them sever their own ties to the public internet. This is the psychological core of the mystery. After the 2012 cycle ended, and as subsequent phases rolled out in 2013 and 2014, the vibrant community of codebreakers completely fractured. The advanced solvers who were once highly vocal on public message boards suddenly stopped posting. They didn't delete their history. They simply went completely dark on the subject of Cicada. A culture of rigid, protective silence swept through the winters. The reality behind this loss of public visibility is deeply human. Solvers had sacrificed sleep, health, and relationships to answer a call from an elite global force. But when they arrived, the reality was starkly ordinary. Ideological infighting and incomplete software projects. The psychological crash was devastating. The silence wasn't enforced by a shadowy corporate threat. It was the silence of deep, collective exhaustion. They realized they had chased a ghost across the world, only to find an empty server room. They chose to close the tab, turn off the monitors, and walk away from the digital trail forever. In 2014, Cicada 3301 dropped its final authenticated artifact, the Liber Primus, a manuscript written entirely in an encrypted runic alphabet. For over a decade, the world's greatest cryptographers have attempted to break its pages. To this day, the vast majority of the book remains entirely unread. Imposters consistently copy the format, posting fake updates across the web. But the community holds a permanent line of defense. Every authentic message requires a unique, mathematically absolute PGP digital signature. And for years, that specific signature has remained totally dormant. The phenomenon of Cicada isn't compelling because it was inherently dangerous. It is compelling because it demonstrated how easily intelligence, curiosity, and a human desire to be part of a secret can draw exceptional minds into a system run by completely unseen strangers. The pages remain locked, the network is dark, and the creators are buried deep within the architecture of the web, leaving us with one final, unresolved question. Was the puzzle built to find brilliant minds, or to measure how far those minds could be persuaded to follow?